Living green or sustainably is about more than saving on your electric bill and doing your part to protect natural resources. It is about a safer and healthier life for you and your family without sacrificing style, quality, or budget. This is a movement to provide all of us with clean air to breathe and water to drink, safe, healthy food to eat and places to live, and energy to run the places where we live, learn, play, and work. The Green Gap podcast helps you get the value of green for you, your family, and your community. Whether it's green homes, green living, or the people who make it happen, join me, Marla Esser-Close, to learn how green and sustainability practices and products work for our world and you. This is Marla, the Green Home Coach, and today on the Green Gap podcast, we're going to be listening to a great episode that I did along with Tony Pratt of the Sound Room, talking about energy efficient innovations. And this topic is so near and dear to Tony's heart. He is so knowledgeable when it comes down to using tech in your home or business. And this is really his sweet spot. So this was one fun podcast that we have. And oh my gosh, Tony and I could just keep talking for hours about this. But you know, what I really want you to think about is all the apps that we use today and how many of these apply to your home. So the tech in your home and how you use that with, be it an app, or maybe there's some other kinds of technology in your home. We're going to be talking about that on this podcast. We tune in specifically to thermostats. I don't know about you, but I love my app-based thermostat. I just got it back because I didn't have it for a while. I love to lay in bed on cold mornings and heat up the house before I get up, if I'm getting up before my schedule is set. So we're going to talk more about how you can use this kind of technology in your home. We also are going to be talking about why control and automation are not the same and why you care. And this one gets into some really interesting conversations because we've got all these apps and they control different parts of our home. But you also hear this term home automation. So we're going to tell you what the difference is and how you can make the best use of that for your own home and the people that live there. In addition to that, your home is now a technological ecosystem. That sounds like a mouthful. But hey, you've got all these systems and they're interacting, and we're going to tell you more about how to get them to interact even better. And then we're going to wrap up with the Internet of Things. Have you heard of this? If not, you're definitely going to want to tune in to this part of the conversation. So in addition to all this great info from Tony, we've included some real goodies at the end, so stay tuned to learn more. Welcome to the Green Gap podcast with Marla Johns Esser, the Green Home Coach, and
Tony Pratt with the Sound Room.
Hey, Tony.
Hi, Marla.
Always a pleasure to be in the studio.
Yes, I always look forward to this. It's not as frequent as it used to be, but it's still much more fun than being in the office.
Well, there you go. And we get to do this for work.
I know.
Isn't that a wonderful
thing? This is a living, isn't it?
I love it. I love it. Well, there's been all kinds of great things in the news these days. And
like what?
Well, let's see. A presidential election, sustainability and green's been in the news.
Okay.
Tesla announced new solar roof tiles. Yes. We've got smart appliances. We've got, I'm sure, some disasters happening somewhere around the world. We've got crazy weather. I actually ran my air conditioning into November for the first time in my life.
I haven't had the air conditioning on, but I've had the windows open. I finally had to close them, and I think I turned my heat on.
Take
yesterday.
The chill off?
Yeah.
So does your thermostat allow you to have the heat on in the morning and the air conditioning in the evening?
No, it does not. I have an older house
built around
built around World War II. And since it's just me in the house and I don't really use that much energy to begin with, I've never really switched it out.
There you go. That's kind of a nice feature, though, because there's an awful lot of days in the spring and the fall when it's chilly in the morning and
absolutely
quite warm in the afternoon.
And these are things that we at the Sound Room do all the time.
Well, yeah, totally. That's what you guys are all about. Matter of fact, that's a great segue into what we can talk about today.
Excellent.
Yeah. So energy efficiency is a topic we talk about a lot with green homes.
Right.
Yet there's all kinds of innovations that help to make that energy efficiency easier and controlled or managed instead of relying on behaviors. So today we could look at how you can gain energy efficiency through innovation with things like energy control systems, smart appliances, and even renewables.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Sounds like a fun topic, actually.
That's what you guys do with the sound room. So
we live and breathe this stuff every day.
I figured you'd get kind of excited about this topic.
This one's easy. I could talk about this one with my eyes closed.
Uh-oh. Yeah. If you're on a podcast, that doesn't matter.
That's true. It's all optics.
Thermostats can be part of an energy control system, right?
Right now, you have some thermostats that you can just do it yourself and you
adjust it yourself.
Well, you swap it out.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It loads up to the Wi-Fi in your house and you can control it from anywhere in the world off of your phone.
Like I used to have.
Right.
Okay.
So, whether it's a Honeywell or a Nest or something like that, or then you can stair up into a little bit more advanced systems where you're tying it into everything else in your house. Lights go on, thermostats adjust because it thinks you're home. Lights turn off, thermostat adjusts because it's either a night mode or an away mode. So really, your house is allowing you to set it for certain parameters without you having to worry about your behavior.
So you can set the whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can set like a scenario, for instance. That would be maybe a get up scenario.
Get up scenario, go to bed scenario, leave the house scenario, have guests over scenario, entertainment mode, night mode, movie mode, whatever. You could sit there and for whatever kind of a scenario you think your life has, you could set up a scene for it.
Since we're going to talk about it with energy control aspects, let's pick get up mode.
Okay.
So get up mode could control what kinds of things?
All right. So let's say you wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Get up mode could possibly turn pathway lights on from your bedroom to your bathroom.
Since it's so dark right now.
Right.
Yes.
From the bedroom to the kitchen.
Okay.
It could adjust the thermostat. Maybe since, you're snuggle up under the covers at night, it's not as hot.
Right. So it would preheat for you to get out of bed.
It would start to, adjust the thermostat. Maybe half hour before you get up, it starts raising the temperature or lowering the temperature based on what season you're in.
Okay.
You could do things like automate the coffee pot.
Yeah, there you go.
Turn on the TV. Turn on music. However you like to get up in the morning.
Gotcha.
These can all be set up in one scene.
So we could even put in automated blinds to control the daylight coming in and out according to when. Would it be timed by when the sun comes up or sensor based on the light amount or
you can do both. You can do both.
Cool.
The easiest thing to do is time.
Okay. A schedule.
Right.
Okay.
We call it daylight harvesting.
Okay.
Where you say you want an X amount of daylight to match what's outside, and you have sensors. So basically, as they read and react to what's actually in there, they'll raise or lower the blinds based on that.
So I think I understand that sensors can also be tied into your lighting controls as well as your daylighting controls.
Yes.
So that they can all work together.
Yes.
So for instance, if part of the room is dark at a certain time of day, the light sensor would know that and would turn the lights on at a certain level to make up for the lack of daylighting.
Yes.
Or if it's a cloudy day.
Because the cool thing about the automated dimmers, you can set them 0 to 100%. So you can sit there and control that.
Sweet.
And say, I want X amount of percentage of light from that lamp to make up for the disparity between light and dark in the room.
Okay, so not only are we going to be able to save energy by not using energy we don't need.
Right.
We're only going to use what we need right then that's going to meet our needs. So we have this customized profile of energy usage, but we're also going to get a customized experience for us that's going to increase our happiness and our satisfaction with this home.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's the side I hadn't thought about. So we get all these psychological benefits and emotional benefits while we're saving energy and the cost of our utilities.
The idea of...
Did I get that right?
You did.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted that affirmation.
The idea in the house is this is your happy place. This is where...
Totally. I'm so into that.
Exactly. This is where you're spending your time.
Yeah.
So if we can create the best environment for each individual person, then that's an added benefit all to itself.
So we could even add in music.
That is correct.
TV entertainment.
Basically, if you can turn something on and off,
you can
control it.
So by making it on demand or on a schedule, we don't have to have it in the background, wasting energy when we don't need it. It's only there when we need it.
That is correct.
So here's a point I'm going to reiterate again. Energy efficiency is not and does not have to be about having less. It can be about having what you want when you want or need, but not having it when you don't need it. So you're not wasting.
That is true right there. Everybody thinks, to be energy efficient, I have to cut back.
Right.
No, you just have to be smart about how it's used.
So back to my pet peeve.
Okay.
Because I hate waste.
Of course.
This is a great way, especially if you're not great or your household's not great about turning things on and off only when they're needed. Mm-hmm. An energy control system can handle that for you.
Yep.
And my understanding is that they come from pretty simple DIY systems all the way up to very elaborate, very elegantly programmed systems and everything in between.
Yes.
So there's something for everyone.
There's something for everybody. There's something for every budget. That's the cool thing about it. I had one homeowner years ago. He basically put an automated controlled light switch in every one of his kids' bedrooms and bathrooms.
Good idea.
Of the simple reason
Teenagers.
his kids always forgot to turn off the lights. Yeah. And we wrote a simple program for it. It was just an if-then statement in the computer.
And it was taken care of.
He had an all-on, all-off. So he would go to work in the morning when everybody was out of the house, look at the house, hit one button, and all those rooms would shut off.
Sweet. Hey, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about other things that can go on the Internet of Things in your house to be controlled.
Excellent.
Cool. We'll be right back. Gabbing about energy control systems and other innovative ways to control and manage and have a wonderful environment in your home. Right, Tony?
Absolutely.
Well, I actually have had a lot of fun starting to play with some of these in my own home and thinking about which ones I'm going to do next. And there's so many cool options out there.
In today's technology in homes, it's just amazing what you can do. And the scary thing is, next year, there'll be even more.
I know. Well, and I have got to guess that a lot of this is showing up not only at the trade shows around the building industry, but also around consumer electronics.
Oh, absolutely. CEDIA, Consumer Electronics Show, you name it. They're all showing all these things.
And so many of them are app controlled now, aren't they?
Everything's app controlled.
The whole world's going to apps.
Yeah, if you can't control it on an app, it's not even worth it.
Yep, the world's going to apps. There you go. So energy control systems, the beautiful thing is that they're really part of a bigger system that can control all kinds of things in your home. Not just energy, but one of the huge side effects, or really one of the big benefits, is that it helps to overcome what we may lack in our behavior and control it through automation and technology.
Right. Where you might not be able to control the users of the house.
Right. That's usually the issue,
You can control how the users use the house.
There you go. There you go.
How's that sound?
I like that.
I just made that up.
Well, and here's the deal, folks. It can start super simple. It can start with a programmable thermostat or a Wi-Fi enabled thermostat.
Absolutely.
It can start with a motion detector on your light switches. You can just insert in your existing switch plates a motion detector sensor that'll turn the lights on and off. Or you could put a dimmer switch in. So you can start really small and then tie it into this overall energy control system to control the bigger scenario-based that we were talking about earlier.
Absolutely. And, there's a place for everything. The motion-controlled light sensors, we were jokingly refer to them as dumb switches.
Right.
Because they're not part of the programmable system, so to speak, but they're great for certain applications.
Okay.
Bathrooms.
Right.
What a great place for them. You walk in, they pop on. You leave, Everybody always forgets to turn off bathroom lights. Over time, boom, it turns off for you.
Can we put ceiling fans on some kind of a motion controller as well?
Ceiling fans, I'm not too sure about the motion control ones. I've yet to see those, but definitely on a smart switch.
Okay.
You can do that. Now, depending on how the ceiling fan is, the type of ceiling fan, you might have a simple one where it's just a on-off.
Right.
And then you control the speed by the pull chain.
Right.
But if it's a more sophisticated fan, they actually make switches that have different speeds on them for the fan.
Okay.
So you can control all that from the switch and also from your phone.
Because I find an awful lot of folks don't turn their ceiling fans off. They'll turn the lights off, but they may not turn the ceiling fans off. And ceiling fans don't cool the room. They don't help the room if there's nobody in there. They only help people to feel cooler. Right. So you might as well turn it off. It is a waste. You might as well turn it off. However, considering that they use a fraction of the energy that an air conditioner does, I'd rather, if I had to choose the lesser of two evils, that people leave the ceiling fan on. Right. It's all trade-offs, right?
Absolutely.
So as long as you're building this network of things in the house that can be controlled and communicate, we hear this term, the Internet of Things.
The Internet of Things, that's correct.
We're also starting to see smart appliances.
That is a big proponent of the Internet of Things. So the theory behind the Internet of Things is it's kind of fascinating. So
kind of.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot.
So you have to think of your entire house as this living, breathing technological ecosystem where your refrigerator, your stove, you name it, even your car is tied to the Internet of Things.
Just like the Jetsons.
Where, yes, where things really come into play. And this is where a lot of people have issues with it because of data collected and privacy and everything else. So your refrigerator, you might have had it for 3 years. It is sending signals back to the manufacturer to say, hey, my compressor's getting ready to go out. Next thing you know, the manufacturer is calling the homeowner to say, we're getting a failure signal. Your compressor's about ready to go out. It's still under warranty. We can have a service person there on this day or that day or whatever. So right now, they're getting the information before it fails to make the easy fix.
So hassle-free maintenance.
Yes. But some people have an issue with privacy on that. They don't
I can understand both sides of that equation.
Right. Big Brother watching them.
Right.
Oh, I can too. When I had my certificate class on the Internet of Things from MIT, this was a test question we talked about. Last year, 2 car manufacturers had updates, Ford and Tesla. For Ford, you had to take your car into the dealer and have the hardware updated. For Tesla, you plugged your car in at night.
And it did it like an iPhone or a smartphone.
Downloaded everything right off the Wi-Fi.
Wow.
Never left the garage.
Wow.
That's where the Internet of Things is going.
It's truly amazing what is possible now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the smart appliances really, from an energy perspective, can communicate with the electric utility as to when energy rates are the lowest.
Yes.
And then be scheduled to run in those times so that the household is using the least amount of energy that it can. So, for instance, your dishwasher can communicate with your electric utility and run when your electric rates are the lowest rather than at the peak in the middle of the day.
That is correct.
Your refrigerator kind of needs to run all the time, so that's not such an option. However, we hear of refrigerators that'll let you know when you're out of things and alert you that, hey, you're running out of milk. You need to get milk. Washing machines would operate much like dishwashers, I believe, and dryers.
Kick on at the off-peak hours.
So what other things can happen with the smart appliance?
Oh, gosh. I mean, think about any appliance in your house. Typically, today, you could probably find it Wi-Fi enabled to where you're communicating with it on Wi-Fi, you're talking to it on Wi-Fi. Now, granted, a coffee pot is probably not sitting there sending a signal to the repair company that, hey, I'm about to go out, but it's allowing you to get everything ready automatically without going to it and trying to program it. You're just doing it all on your phone.
Right. Always like that backup, though.
Well, yes.
Just in case. Well, so you could also tie in, like I had one client that had a video doorbell that was tied into their control systems. And there was a smart lock on the door, so they could control who could get in and out of their house. Smart appliances could extend to convenience and safety features in the house beyond just the energy convenience?
Sure.
Okay.
It depends on the control system itself. Is it, a more advanced system? Is it more a simplistic system? Is it more of a cloud-based system?
Gotcha.
Is it more of a program system? When we get into the really, really higher-end systems at the sound room, one of our programmers once told me, if you could physically write it down in a sentence, you can make that system do it.
Wow. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it really is when you think about how advanced these systems can be.
I understand that they're going to have a lot of this automation in the show home at the Builder Show. That'll be really exciting to see some of this in action and see how it all works.
Well, they even had some last year.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, they had some last year. It was a little bit more the simple DIY systems. So let's see if they get a little bit more advanced or not. But regardless, at the International Builder Show, they will show all the different vendors will be down there showing different automation.
All the pieces.
Right. That's one of the things I do when I go there is look for new product for next year.
Right. So we can also tie in renewables into an energy control system. So that's going to be the next piece I want to talk about a little more. But let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Sounds great. See you on the other side.
Gab and Green on the Green Gab podcast. Tony and Marla keeping it going today with all kinds of innovative ideas for energy efficiency. I just love thinking about it. It's crazy. As a nerd myself, I just get such a kick out of all this.
You're not a nerd.
I am too. I'm an engineer by training, so I got that nerdy side to me.
Well, the cool thing about this field is technology is constantly changing.
Oh, boy, is it.
And I know. Try working in the industry. The minute you think you have it mastered, updates show up, changes show up, the latest and greatest show up, and somebody always wants it.
Well, and renewables are no different. So from our perspective, renewables mean some form of renewable energy, and probably what most of our listeners are most familiar with is electricity from solar panels or photovoltaics, and electricity from wind, which we typically see on a utility scale.
Yes.
So big, huge windmills out when you're driving down the highway
utility scale, farms and ranches, places that actually have space to put a lot of wind turbines up.
And there are some home options for wind. We're not seeing as much of them.
Doesn't make as large of an impact as solar does.
But solar's really going gangbusters in a lot of parts of the country. And it's become a lot more affordable and a lot more accessible pretty quickly.
Yeah, it is. But the big thing about solar is that missing piece has always been storage in the house, the battery part.
Yes.
And thank God for Tesla.
They're doing some amazing work, I would say that. At least they're getting it out there in a workable way.
Right. Now, Tesla, they showed their battery last year.
The Powerwall.
In Vegas. And that was about 24 hours worth of storage.
Aren't they up to 3 days now?
I think they're up to 3 days.
That's what I thought
think
as well.
The goal is pretty much a week. But in reality, even that 24 hours is huge because the biggest downfall of solar, like in St. Louis, is while you're producing during the day, all the excess is going back out onto the grid for Ameren.
Rather than to be used at night.
Exactly. And the rub is it's going back to the utility at cost. And yet at night when I'm pulling it back, I'm paying retail.
Okay.
So tell me if that's fair. No, it's not. In a lot of states, it's a 1-to-1.
And this is our opinions, folks.
This is our opinion. In a lot of states, it is 1-to-1.
Yeah.
But it is not here.
Not here.
So now the stuff I'm producing in the day, my excess, if I can store it on my property in a battery, at night, what I'm doing is I'm drawing off the battery.
And now you can be much more independent.
And efficient.
Yeah. And most systems in most parts of the country, the way I understand it, still need to be tied to the electric grid. So you need to be tied to your electrical utility for those times when you can't generate your own electricity and you need to pull it in from the electric utility. However, for remote properties or people that are out, they can be independent. Batteries are going to give them the opportunity to choose when they can.
And even if you have to be tied to the grid, The battery is going to allow you to keep more of your energy in the house.
And use what you
Not
produced.
only that,
kind of like canning your vegetables that
Yes.
you grow in the summer. You can save them for the winter.
Not only that, here's the cool thing. That battery is going to be there, so if you do lose power, instead of having to rely on a generator,
You've got
the
backup.
battery is going to power the house.
And that's where that week-long reserve
Yes.
is really going to make an impact.
Absolutely. I mean, even if it's cloudy out, you're still going to generate some.
Well, technology is getting better efficiency rates off of the panels with the newer technology.
Right.
And I'm going to be really excited to see what happens with this new announcement that Tesla made recently with their solar roof tiles or roof shingles.
Absolutely. This could be the game changer.
This could be.
So they're going to have them in 4 different styles, so they should be able to fit in architecturally based on where you're at. Because it is the roof shingle or tile itself, might be able to get away from a lot of the covenants and subdivisions that say you can't have panels.
Right.
So it's not really a panel, it's the roof. Now the question is going to be, what's the cost? Nobody's seen the actual cost yet. But you have to look at it in multiple layers. It's not just a strict comparison between a regular roof and the solar roof. It's more the regular roof, the panels, the inverter, and the battery. That's what you have to compare it to.
Yeah, it's an energy system plus
Yes.
the roof.
Yes.
I know a lot of the questions I was hearing and reading about were the durability and how it would survive like the hailstorms in the Midwest.
yeah.
But they had a video that they were dropping a kettlebell on these.
Really?
It looked pretty darn good. I mean, obviously, time will tell. Tesla has brought out some very innovative solutions, and I am very hopeful that this will be a great solution for more and more of us.
Yeah, I will say this. If they are 80% as successful with the roofs as they have been with their car, they probably hit a home run.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can make the car works pretty well, I'm guessing they can make a roof work. From what I am hearing about is you talk about durability, it sounds like it's going to last twice as long as a typical roof.
That's my understanding too.
Right. Sure, you'll still have to replace the inverter, but you're going to have to do that anyway with solar panels.
Right.
So that's a wash to me. And no matter what, they're packaging the tiles with the battery.
Oh,
so
nice.
you need both.
Right.
To really, you buy one.
I didn't
you
realize
get
they
the
were
other.
packaging them. That's good to hear.
Yeah, that was what I had heard. They're really made to work in conjunction with each other.
So a renewable system can also be tied in with your energy control system.
Yes, it can.
So you can manage where energy is coming from, where it's going to. And I'm assuming you can set priorities on different systems and appliances in your home so that the power from your solar system would go first to those priority 1 items.
You can, and not only that, you can sit there in the really advanced systems. 1, see exactly what you're producing from your renewables.
Okay.
2, see exactly what you're using
Okay.
from each individual piece.
And that's
So
the first key is knowing.
I know exactly what the hot water is producing. I know what, or using. I know what the refrigerator is using. I know what the washer dryer is using. And because you can see all of that, you can even make it to where I can turn off certain outlets.
Right.
So the phantom,
That's your priorities, right?
The phantom load goes away.
Right.
There is no phantom load. I can turn off the main outlet that's controlling the TV so I don't have the phantom draw for 8 hours at a time if I'm not there.
Without turning off your cable controller,
Correct.
so you're still getting your recordings and
Correct.
things of that nature.
Correct.
Gotcha.
So you can really get advanced and drill down to the smallest little details with these control systems. It just depends on how advanced you're willing to go and where the budget lies.
In the full disclosure, there's other kinds of renewable systems that are out there that can
Yes.
be used for heating and hot water heating.
Oh, yeah.
And we will probably have entire podcasts dedicated to some of those other technologies.
Geothermal, solar hot water.
Right.
Oh my gosh, we can talk about this stuff for hours.
I don't want our audience to think that we're just glossing over that, but we're glossing over it for now.
Right.
And we'll get it on a later podcast.
You can only get so much in half an hour.
I know. And with the topic being energy efficiency, innovation, a lot of that centers around electricity. So
Yes.
pretty much the central theme to most of what we've talked about today is electricity and helping you to manage your electricity usage and not waste electricity. And if you're pulling your own electricity in from solar panels, you definitely don't want to waste it. You want to maximize your investment.
Yeah, you really want to be able to store your overages for when you're not producing.
Yes. And that's great in an emergency a power outage or just for day-to-day use as well.
Oh, absolutely.
There's all kinds of innovations out there. It's an exciting time. And ironically, there's been a lot of conversations around where energy efficiency and sustainability and green's going to go with the change in our government. And there's so much happening already, and so many companies are understanding how good this is for the bottom line. Mm-hmm. I really feel we're on a great trajectory and that we've got so much that we can do.
Oh, I really don't think it's going to change as much.
I agree
Here's
with that.
why. In commercial, if you're building a big building or you have a large building, it's almost a no-brainer.
Oh, yeah, it's just on the bottom line.
You know, the sound room, we purchased our new building, and it's in Chesterfield Valley. If you're in St. Louis, please come by and check it out. But
it's cool.
we bought this in March. The first thing our owner, David Young, said to me, Tony, you got to see the giant solar array on it.
I love it. I know. I got to go up and see it.
120 panels, 3 inverters. I mean, it's massive. I watch it any given minute. We're generating 15,000 to 21,000 watts. You know, for an electronics retailer,
right,
this is huge. We sell electronic appliances and equipment and everything else. We use a lot of electricity.
But I love the fact that you're being able to do that responsibly. And thank
absolutely.
Thank you to the sound room for making that commitment. So we really appreciate it.
We were lucky. We didn't have to make the initial commitment, but we bought the building that already had it.
There you go.
Because to us,
a twofer.
yeah, that was value added. And I think more and more commercial companies are understanding that.
I would agree with that.
Absolutely. The space is up there anyway. Yep. You might as well put solar up there and reap the benefits. The paybacks are a lot quicker in commercial versus residential, but still.
It's still there.
It's all part of until we have a cognizant energy plan for the country where solar is at the table with everything else, it's just not going to matter as far as what the mix is. But it's got to be
We're
involved
getting
in
there.
It. We are.
We are
really
getting there. So we got all kinds of fun things to look at for energy efficiency through innovation. And the innovation's not going to stop, folks. It just keeps coming.
Oh, it always is changing.
And it's exciting times in these innovations. So we really appreciate you tuning in to listening to us. And here's to your innovative future, Tony.
Yours too, Marla.
Okay, signing off. Have a great day. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Green Gab. Be sure to check out the show notes for links and resources that we talked about in today's episode, or rather the episode that we just linked you back to in our blast from the past. Hey, you want to learn more about green homes and how technology is a part of them? Then go to greenhomeccoach.com/homepro. That's HOMEPRO. There you can learn more about green homes, what makes them green, and how to put all this information to use in your home and in your business and in your practice. There's all kinds of great information out there. We appreciate you staying tuned on the Green Gab, subscribing, leaving your reviews so we can continue to make this a better show for you to learn more about getting value from green. That wraps up this episode of the Green Gab podcast. Ready to use what you learned? Get the show notes with all the resources mentioned in this episode. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you never miss an episode. Thank you again for listening and for leaving a review. And remember that living a little greener is easier than you think.